let me say hello to Kristen and welcome to Australia.
Thank you.
Could you tell me something about your trip to Australia? What do you think after you have visited?
It's a very nice country. It's a very thank you. It's a very beautiful country. I've been to the East Coast. We've seen Gold Coast, Hervey Bay, and all kinds of places in the East Coast. It was very nice. Yeah, it's very different from everything I've seen before. Yeah, very nice.
Is this the first time for you?
Yes, for me it's the first time ever here.
And from here told me you have something to ask me.
I have a few questions, if that is okay. The first question I have is if you could tell me why do differences exist between different kinds of Buddhism and like Devada, Mahayana, and all these kinds of different things. Why are the differences, and how to explain the various differences?
Yeah, okay, Kristen. There are some different form of Buddhism, but the originally Buddhism is Theravada. Theravada, you know the word Thera. Thera means senior monk, the monk who ordained to be a monk for a long time and have studied a lot and have practiced a lot in Buddhism. He is called Thera. And Vada means speech or idea. So Theravada means the idea of Thera, the idea of senior monk. You know, after the Buddha passed away, 3 months after Buddha passed away, some monks did not have willing to respect the Buddha's teaching, especially discipline. Some of them felt happy because they thought that we can do anything we want. Well, the Buddha is still alive. Buddha did not allow all disciples to do something bad, immoral things, something like that. When the Buddha passed away, some of them become happy because they think they can do anything they want. They didn't want to respect the Buddha's law anymore. That's why the senior monk, his name was Kassapa. Kassapa is the senior monk at that time. He was Arahant, the one who completely eradicated all defilement in his mind. He became a pure one's mind. He want to collect all the teaching of Buddha, but not only himself, but he asked 500 monks to gather together, to collect all the Buddha's teaching. They have a meeting and discussing about the Buddha's teaching around 3 months. And when they finished their meeting, he appealed that we don't need to cut off the Buddha's teaching or add some more. So they have the willing to respect or to follow all the Buddha's teaching by not cutting off or add anything more. So those men who respect the idea of that Thera, they call themselves Theravada. Theravada means they have the willing to respect all Buddha's teaching. Nowadays we call Tripeda, the three Veda, or Tripitaka, Tripitaka. Yeah, I think you have known about that. Yeah, about the discipline, about the I'm not sure to call in English.
So one is a Sutta Pitaka, the other one
Vinaya
Pitaka.
and Abhidhamma. Yes. And but when the time passed by, some teachers or some Thera in Buddhism, they want to create something new, or they want to cut off some part of Buddha's teaching, like Vinaya. So they create a new jhana like Mahayana, or as I know, there are more than 10 kinds of Buddhism, because they want to create their own way to practice, but they still respect some part of Buddhism. But however, all of them never give up the Four Noble Truths. Yeah, even they have a little bit different of practice, but they still keep the main point is Four Noble Truths. That's why we all, even we have different kinds of practice, but we don't have any argument to each other, because we have the same goal. Like we have many kinds of sweets, but we come from the same elements, the sugar. When we make sweets, we cannot skip sugar.
Yeah.
So sugar here like the Four Noble Truths.
Okay.
You get my point?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. And anything else?
Thank you. I was wondering about how do you feel about people who come from different cultural backgrounds and being together, like she's a Buddhist and I am different. Is that in any way a problem in terms of Buddhism, or how does Buddhism feel about that?
Like how people from different religions.
Okay. To me, it doesn't matter where they're from, what they are, what religion or what kind of religion they respect, because all beings have the same goal. We want happiness and we don't like suffering. Different nation, different kind of people from many places all over the world, they change from one place to another, or they go to work, or they respect religion. The main purpose is happiness, right? We have the same goal, but just different practice. That's why we all have to meet and have to discuss, have to exchange the idea. Argument is not a good solution, but discussion is a very good point that we have to discuss. We can understand each other by sitting together and exchange the idea. So it is called democratic. Like in modern country, they fight for democratic. So those who understand clearly about the democratic, they don't make argument when they have different party, right? They challenge with the ideas only. They raise up the policy, how to lead the country, to make the country develop. It's the same. Religion are the same. If those who fight for religion mean they don't understand the purpose of religion, because religion is not to fight, it's to gather people, to live together. So for me, I don't feel any strange when I meet different people who have different belief, because I know clearly that they believe something or they practice something because they want to get happiness in life, and they want to reduce their suffering, their anxiety, depression, and something like that. We have different nations, like you from another country, and me as well. I come from Cambodia, but we still have the same goal: is happiness. We want to have good communication. We want to have a very warm family and something like that. The same. But people look at each other in different way. Like sometimes they don't like other people who have different belief because they don't understand the meaning of religion. If those who understand the purpose of religion, they don't fight for that. They're full of compassion, love, something like that. Like if we look back to Jesus Christ or Buddha, they sacrifice their life for human, not for human. They sacrifice everything to make people happy or live in a peaceful life. So those who respect Jesus Christ or respect Buddha don't make argument. But only the people who claim themselves, oh, I'm Buddhist, I'm Christian, I'm Muslim, you must believe this and that. So they don't understand. They have only the idea of themselves to be something, but not the real meaning of religion. What about you? What do you think about that?
Thank you. I appreciate your answer a lot. My wife and me, we have lots of discussions about religion and culture and all that, and she's from Cambodia and I'm from Austria, so our backgrounds are very different. So that's why we discussed a lot about that, and we both agree that our individual cultural background doesn't really matter that much because we both love each other very much. So our background isn't that important. Yeah. You talked about democracy before. I wanted to ask you, what's your opinion about Buddhism related to politics? Should Buddhists be involved in politics? What's your opinion on that?
You know, my opinion, I think Buddha is the first one who lead people in democratic way. You know, in the monk society, before they decide to do something, they have to have a meeting, and then they vote for a very good monk to take a role to do something in the monk society. They don't use the power of any people. Like, for example, in the monastery there are several monks, and sometimes, you know, the monk live the life because of people support them. Sometimes the food is not enough, or like robe is not enough, so they have to choose one monk who have a very good mind to share the food or the robe or anything that happened in the monastery. But that monk are voted by all monks there. So those who manage the monks' job or work in the monastery do not use their own power, but they use the power from the election. Yes. When I see the politic that they use the democratic system, it's the same thing as Buddha teaching. Because as human beings, if we are not under the law, it's easy to make something bad. I remember Obama said, "The law is the law, no one above the law. So we are under the law." So in Buddhism, it's the same. No one can above the discipline. We are under the discipline. That's why we can do something correctly. If someone can stay above the law, they can do something bad. That's it. Do you get my point?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
Thanks. I wanted to ask further about that. How do we deal with people who make laws that aren't compatible with Buddhist laws? How do we deal with people who make laws that are bad laws, or that make people be hurt or suffer?
I don't get it.
I mean, for example, there are people out there who lead countries in ways that make people suffer. How do we deal with that?
For his opinion, or from
Both in your personal opinion and in Buddhist opinion. Yeah.
Actually, each country have their own law. Even they claim themselves a democracy, but sometimes they have only the name, but they don't respect the democracy. Like, you know, around 40 years ago, more than 40 years ago in Cambodia, during 3 years, it is called killing field. But that region was called democracy as well. But they have only the name, but their action is completely different. I think, for my opinion, to deal with that, people have to understand those countries who let the leader do something bad because of people have less knowledge about politics, about the law, or about something, especially low education. Those countries that people who have low education, it's the chance for the leader to do something bad. But in which country that people have high knowledge, like even nowadays in Hong Kong, it's under Chinese, but Chinese government is very hard to control them. The protester or the demonstration has happened for a long time. Why? Because most people have high education. Even they are under the control of China, Chinese government. Or in Taiwan, people have had high education. So it's hard for communists to put the pressure on them, because they know they are right. They know what to do. They can explain to other people. Because human power, human mind power, especially I refer to their knowledge, is a very, sometimes it's unbelievable. They can do anything that hard to. We have unlimited knowledge in human's mind. So to me, to deal with the government who always use the power to do something bad, we should explain the people to understand their right. Like in South Korea, in the past, the people were under the threat of the power of government as well. They killed many people as well. But the new leader tried to explain people to know their right, to know what they have to do, have to speak. Then they can change their society. Only people can change their society. If we don't let people understand their right, about their right, or if people still don't have enough knowledge, they cannot change their society as well. At all, I mean. So education is very, very important. Yes, that's it. We cannot change the country from communist to democratic only by war. No, war cannot do that. War cannot do that. But the understanding of people is very important. It is an education. Mm.
If it's okay with you, I have some more questions. Something completely different. Can you explain to me the concept of no self, of anatta? Yeah. Anatta, yeah.
Yes, anatta is a Pali term. It's from ne. Ne is the prefix that change to ana and atta. Atta means self, oneself, myself, yes. And ana here means none. But it's not easy to understand this characteristic, because we have our own idea about self, and sometimes we have read the booklet or we have listened to some people describe about the word anatta, and they have different concept about this word. But actually this word is not difficult to understand, because it is the reality of characteristic of all beings. Whenever the right understanding hasn't happened, we still cannot understand this word clearly. But when the right understanding happens, the reality of the word anatta is not difficult. For example, now you are listening to me, right? Listening, so the idea of people always say that I am hearing. I am hearing. It's the idea of I, but the characteristic of the Dhamma which is arising right now is only hearing. Hearing is one kind of element of Dhamma, which is happening because of ears and voice come together, and then it causes the hearing happen. So anatta means things that happen because of other condition. It cannot happen itself. One thing happens because of another thing, and it always impermanent, happen and then fall away, happen and then fall away repeatedly again and again and again. One more thing, anatta means we cannot control. Refer to uncontrollable thing. For example, our body, our health. We live, nowadays we want to get healthy, but we get sick. So we cannot control it. So everything that we cannot control also called anatta. Not belong to anyone. There is no real owner in this world. We can say my eye, my nose, my tongue, but it is the idea only. But actually, there is no you, there is no me, there is no anybody in this world. There are only nama and rupa, mean physical and mental, which is happening because of their condition. When one have developed right understanding about this rupa and nama, physical and body, that always happen because of condition, the idea of I, the idea of you or anyone not exist anymore. For example, now you come from German?
Austria?
Austria, okay. Sorry. Austria. And you claim yourself you are Austrian. But it's just the idea, not Austrian, not Australian, not Cambodian. It's just the idea. I will remember. But if when you just born, your relative sent you to live in Australia and told you since you just born that you are Australian, you will remember, I am Australian, I am Australian. So, where is Australian? Australian is just the idea. Now, your name, Christian. If your father put your name Elizabeth or something like that since you were young, so you are not Christian, you are Elizabeth. So, me, you, your wife, or anyone that we recognize or we remember as who is who, it's just the idea. But the characteristic of Dhamma, we have the same, like you have 2 eyes, I have 2 eyes, nose, tongue, not different. For example, this table made from the wood, right? But we can call this table. And this is blind. But originally, both blind and table from the wood. There is no blind, there is no wood. They come from the same element, is wood. Like human nowadays, we fight each other because they don't understand the word anatta. They claim themselves to be American or most great in the world and something like that. Or those from Asian are not, they are weak and something like that. But it's just the idea. No American, no Australian, no, something more. That's why, in the Buddha's teaching, being a human, Buddha never divide nation. Buddha called only human, not American, not Australian, not Indian or something. Buddha called only one name, is human. Or we call in Pali word manusa, is human. Human and human, they have the same shape. So again, for anatta here is refer to all things that happen because of condition. Without condition, nothing happen. And then it fall away, uncontrollable. Born and then die. We cannot stop it. That is why it is called anatta. You get the point?
I think so,
Yeah.
Something uncontrolled. You can't control.
Yeah, can't control, can't stop it. From young to old, from old to die, cannot control. Yeah. It's not under our control. Buddha called anatta. Like your father-in-law 4 or 50 years ago, he was at your age. He was very handsome at that time. Now, everything's gone. Cannot stop it. It always happen and fall away by itself. Even outside thing or inside are the same. No one can stop. It's anatta. But as I told you, many people have different idea about anatta. They think about the soul a bit. No, not think about that. It's for only the thing that we cannot stop. Yeah, it's anatta. Yeah. Yes.
to, oh, don't worry. I just would like to remember you to, I would like to ask you to talk again about the story that someone asked the Buddha, how can I make a happiness? Do you remember? Yeah, please tell. Mui. Look, Anna, look, Anna. I want happiness or something.
Okay. It's about anatta. She just remind me to tell you a story about a man who come to the Buddha and asked for happiness. He asked that, "My Lord, I want happiness." So everyone wants happiness, right? And the Buddha replied that first you have to reduce the word I. I mean ego, your ego. And then secondly, you have to reduce another word, is want. Want is clinging or attachment. See, now you have only happiness. When you reduce I and want, you have only happiness. For example, when you are on the street, you are on the traffic jam. You want to get your goal very soon, but you have trouble with the traffic. And then in your mind, I want to get there soon, I want to get there, I want to reach there soon. So what you get is anxiety or depression. But if you are okay to be here, it's not the traffic problem. So the problem is caused by your attachment or clinging, your desire. But related to the word anatta mean, when we want to get something, we want happiness, and happiness not always happen because of your desire or your wish. This is also called anatta, because you want this to happen, but it doesn't happen. We want that thing not to happen, but it always happens. It is also called anatta. Yes. Anything else?
I might have one political question, if that is okay. Thank you. Thanks for answering my questions. Is there any sort of cooperation between Devada monks of various countries like Thai and Khmer and Vietnam? Do they cooperate, or is there no cooperation between them? Thanks.
As I have known, they also have the cooperation, because they always have the meeting once a year. They exchange the experience of leading people. Mostly they held it in Thailand or Sri Lanka or Cambodia once a year. 2 years ago they made it in China. I also went there. So the monks from all over the world meet each other there to exchange the experience of leading people or spread the Dhamma the teaching of Buddha. But how this cooperation good or bad, I'm not sure. But they also have the cooperation. Yeah.
វាមានបញ្ហាច្រើនអត់ធ្វើទៅបានដូចត្រូវជួលផ្ទះស្អីស្អីកន្លែងឯរួមទៅអត់មានវត្តហើយគាត់ក៏សួរខ្ញុំថាចុះហេតុអីក៏យើងមិនតាក់ទងលោកដែលមុនមកពីថៃទៅឲ្យខាងសិទ្ធិប្រពុតដូចគ្នាខាងលោកគេជួយគាត់សួរខ្ញុំមិនដឹងខ្ញុំថាអានឹងខ្ញុំអត់ដឹងព្រោះពួកខ្ញុំអត់តាក់ទងជាមួយគ្នាបានគាត់ថាធម្មតាខាងសាសនាដូចគ្នាគេមានពាន់ជួយគុតគង់គ្នាទៅវិញទៅមកដូចជាកន្លែងគង់កន្លែងអីចឹងបាន
Yes, as I told you, they also have, but they still have the limit. Yeah, sometimes even we have the same religion, but people still have their own culture or their own country and something like that. But it's not the teaching of Buddha. Buddha did not teach people to have to separate standard of living like that. We have to make useful thing to all people, not for only Cambodian or Thai or something. That's why in Buddha's discipline, for the monks, those who come to become a monk, he called Pico or Pico national, like the nationality. Yes, I really understand your opinion about that. We can live together when we become a monks, even they are from China or Vietnam or Thailand or Cambodia. We should have in the Buddha's time. Many people from different standard of living, some from king family, from rich family, or from poor, or from other countries, but they come to live together. Buddha compare Buddhism to the sea, the sea that always get the water from different river, different stream, different lake. Yeah, when they flow from different river and flow to the sea, become the same water. Yeah, they are in the same water. Like in Buddhism, we come from different nation, come from different family or country. We can live together. This is the Buddha's teaching. But the problem is we ourselves that we always have limitation of that. Yes, I get your point.
I think that's all. Thank you.
Good job.
Good job. Okay, then off the Angle. Okay. No. Okay. Finally, I would like to thank Konmacha, and in the discussion we just did, we mainly focus, like even though we got different beliefs, different religions, but our goal in human being is living in peace, and to live in peace, we need to follow you can follow different, religion, but what to say, Buddha is my belief. So, but other people believe in different religion is up to them. But the main thing is everyone want peace. But how they go about finding peace is their opinion, their belief. So that's all. អរគុណអង្គច្រើន
Okay, finally, I would like to say some word. May you live in peaceful mind, and yeah, actually Buddha never give any blessing, but the blessing come from ourselves. Yeah, but it's just the way of communication that we always talk to each other to bless something. But actually Buddha always teaches that happiness we cannot find anywhere, but we can find it in ourselves. It happened because of our own action. So the Dhamma discussion is